Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle an idea that kind of pushes back against, well, everything we're told about success. We're going to explore how sometimes standing perfectly still is actually the most powerful move you can make.
All right, let's just jump right into it. I know, it sounds like a complete contradiction, right? But what if our biggest, most important breakthroughs don't come from hustling harder, but from hitting the pause button with a real purpose?
First up, let's talk about something we all know, something we all feel. It's that constant, nagging pressure to always be growing, always improving, always moving forward, no days off.
I mean, we live in a world that is obsessed with this idea of relentless forward momentum. The growth mindset is everywhere, and it's sold to us as the only way to get ahead. Personally, professionally, you name it. The message is clear: never stop, never settle.
Okay, but what's the hidden cost here? What's the downside to this non-stop chase? What happens when we never, ever give ourselves permission to just be still for a minute?
Well, it turns out this constant hustle, this whole culture around it, has a really significant and often completely ignored downside. And boom, here it is, when we're trying to push forward on every single front at the same time, juggling a dozen projects, learning a new skill, trying to network, our focus just shatters. Our energy gets spread so incredibly thin that we end up making tiny bits of progress everywhere instead of a real, meaningful leap forward somewhere important.
And that's the number one problem, the big takeaway here. This scattering of our energy prevents the one thing we absolutely need for game-changing innovation, for those genuine aha moments. And that one thing is deep, profound, uninterrupted focus on a single tough problem.
So this brings us to the real heart of this whole idea. It's a massive reframing of what it means to pause. We're taught to see not growing as failing. But what if that's just completely the wrong way to look at it?
Now, this isn't just about taking a vacation. We're talking about a concept called strategic stagnation. And yeah, the name itself is meant to grab you and challenge all those assumptions.
So let's break this down. This is not about getting stuck or giving up. Not at all. It's a conscious, deliberate choice to stop trying to do everything so you can pour all of your mental horsepower into one single spot. It's like weaponizing the pause.
And just look at the difference here. On one side, you've got conventional stagnation. That's what we're all afraid of, right? It's passive, you didn't mean for it to happen, and it feels like failure. But strategic stagnation? That is an active, powerful choice. It's a tool that you decide to use on purpose.
So how on earth does this actually work? How does hitting pause paradoxically make you go faster? Well, let's imagine a product designer. She's stuck on a really tricky feature update for an app.
First, she has to acknowledge that her energy is all over the place. She's trying to design this feature, but also fixing bugs and sitting in team meetings. So step 2, she initiates a focused pause. She actually gets her boss to agree to let her step away from everything else for just 3 days. No emails, no meetings, just thinking about the problem, with zero pressure to produce anything. Third, in that quiet, focused space, she unlocks this profound clarity. She suddenly sees a completely new, way simpler solution that she never would have thought of before. And finally, armed with that insight, she comes back and accelerates with intention. She builds a working prototype in a single week that is leagues better than anything she'd managed in the entire month before.
And that's the whole paradox right there. By deliberately choosing to stop moving, you create the perfect environment for a much more powerful, much more focused leap forward later on. You're not actually stopping, you're just gathering energy for a much, much bigger launch.
So the really important thing here is to start reframing how you see those moments of pause in your own life, in your own work. They aren't signs that you're failing or that you're weak. They're actually opportunities for incredible strength. Okay, let's lock in these key takeaways. Just remember, that non-stop chase for growth can totally backfire by scattering your focus. But stagnation, it doesn't have to be a bad word. It can be your most powerful strategic choice. That focused pause is your secret weapon for finding real clarity. And that stillness, that's what lets you hit the accelerator when it really, truly matters.
And hey, if there is only one idea you hold on to from all of this, let it be this one. Those quiet, focused moments, they are not empty. They are the engine room. They're where the real hard work of innovation actually gets done.
And that brings us to our final thought, a question for you to take with you. Just take a look at your own work, your projects, your life. Where's your energy scattered?
And where could a deliberate, focused pause, a moment of strategic stagnation, unlock your next big idea?